is Mike Bedard with Cinema Singularity, and today I am speaking with Arianna and Matteo about their new short film, Playing God. How are you both doing today?
Hey, hello, everything fine.
Everything's fine. Yes, thank you.
Thank you for inviting us in here in your place.
Of course, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me. I know how intensive stop motion animation can be. I know it's very time intensive, so thank you for taking a break to chat about Playing God.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I guess to kick things off, can you both briefly touch on what Playing God is as far as a film, and then what its message means to the both of you?
Yes.
Yeah, so Playing God, first of all, is 7 years of production. Actually, it's funny because six of these 7 years are just convincing the other people and founders to give money to make a film, and just 1 year, yes, to make the animation. So, uh,
Yeah, and then also to understand how to animate in that way with with that high quality, of
yes.
animation. So yeah, 7 years even for making an experiment and so on.
So yes, this first of all. Second is Playing God is a really ambitious project actually. It started since the first idea, the first spark of Playing God. Since the beginning was the really ambitious dream to make in some ways, especially combine this different kind of stop motion technique inside, like. To put it briefly, there are three different kind of technique, like clay animation, because all the puppets and everything is made by clay, and of course puppet animation inside, because the puppets are made by clay and actually are really huge puppets, something like 60 or 70 centimeters or something. And the first technique is the pixelation, so the animation, stop motion animation of a real human body. So the magic of this short film actually is just like that, just combining a real human body um, in this world made by clay, made by monsters, made by puppets. And for both, I think there are different meaning about this film. Yeah, my personal meaning, it's like I don't know, everything it started since the beginning, like the ideas come from a burnout, like a personal feeling of burnout. Especially I remember the time working in a lot of project animation, stop motion animation projects, but maybe that are project that you don't like, maybe personally like. So everything is grow like in a kind of insatisfaction about my work, about what I was making. And basically the reflection of the film was, building puppets, building stuff, animating puppets, and then put everything aside for starting a new project and again. So everything is start with this meaning, like build to fall, building something and destroying and stuff. So for that reason, the first idea of Playing God was born in some ways. And I like to imagine the film like a falling of a ego, So the god in this case, like a demiurge or a god or a simple sculpture, are able to create you like a human being, first of all, but can be read like the creation of ego, creation of yourself, and and for that reason, at the end, when the creators leave, leaving alone the main character losing his face, but discover himself, the real himself, in some ways, together with the other people. So it's like an happy ending in some ways, I think.
Yeah, a dark happy
In
ending.
some
Yeah.
ways, yes, because the main character are able to discover himself. So I think it's good.
Yeah, I think that what is a good point of the project is that everyone can see something inside, depending on maybe his life or her life. there are a lot of keys of understanding the story. For me, the most important is the, that kind of curse that every artist has when everyone of us, I call us like artists, like everyone do their art, and then you never be happy about the result on what you create, and yeah, this is a kind of curse because this yeah, you have to push the line always more and more, and you are not always happy about the result. And this is a kind of a course. So yeah, for me, this is my key of interpretation.
Can be a gasoline maybe sometimes, if you are not able to find perfection on your work because you are able to continue more and more and more, but of course can be
Yeah,
read like a curse. Yeah.
and that can make you suffer a lot, but then is also the possibility for artists to grow like artists. So yeah, it's this double meaning
Yeah,
of
there
this.
is a duality in
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel very autobiographical, and I'm sure any artist could relate to it. And I hope you're both very happy with how it turned out because it really is such an amazing short. But I'm curious, is there anything, since you were developing for it for so long, was there anything like you watch it now and you wish like, oh, if I had done this, or if we had more money or more time, we could have added to it, or is it just no, this is the perfect vision of what this story was supposed to be?
No, it was like a process because everything when started it was like we had this idea to create something really small, like okay, let's go and start creating some like a short film just about 2 minutes, and then nothing else.
Let's publish it on social media. Yes, was basically the first idea at the
Yeah,
beginning.
but then we worked a lot on the story, on everything, on the character design, etc. So that was really a long process, and at least I can see that we are really happy on the results. And of course, at the end of the animation, I was, looking into my work, and I was constantly say to Matteo, "Oh my God, I want to redo this animation because it's too old, and I can see the, you know."
We did a lot of retake during the time,
Yeah.
actually. Yes.
But then there was a point when we said, okay, stop. This is the result, and we are happy about that. We need to go forward. Yeah.
Yeah, let's say that we had the time to find a better way to express our emotion and to develop the technique. We had the time, and actually, I'm happy to say that this short film has no compromise in some ways. So everything it's come from like in a better way, without compromise, like timing, money. We have invest. We found money to live during the shooting, during the production, of course, but we give all ourselves to try to make the best things as possible. And this is, I think, I'm pretty happy for that. It's my first time that I've experienced something like that, like be happy of something because I'm just investing all yourself no matter what. So it was a good experience to live. Yeah.
Mm. I'm really curious to know what is your key of interpretation of the story.
You kind of touched on it, but yeah, mine was watching it, just seeing the artist like sculpting it, and then I mean, there's like the main sculpture, and then all the kind of disfigured sculptures to the side, just like that constant pursuit of perfection and wanting to get it just right, but it's off a little bit, and so it just gets tossed aside and becomes, something that could have been beautiful or could have been perfect gets, forgotten, and then you just move on to the next thing and try to make that rather than working on what you already have.
Mhm. Yeah, this is another interpretation for sure. Yeah, cool.
So you mentioned how you spent several years just trying to get money, and I know I have some indie filmmakers who watch my channel. Do you have any tips on how to secure financing, or when you're like pitching this idea, a 9 minute stop motion short film? How do you, I mean, you don't have to go into like super specifics or anything, but like, is there a technique for like convincing someone this is worth investing in? This is art that should be shared with the world.
Ooh.
This is a great question,
Yeah.
actually, because uh, I mean, at the beginning, it was so it was so intense, the idea, the sparks of just we want to make that, and we try in every way to make it possible. And at the beginning, we start without money, without know anything about producing film or stuff. So we start like with all our efforts, but soon we discovered that was not enough. So we try in some ways to develop the idea, try pitching around the Europe the idea, and all the pitch was a disaster because we uh, we discover since the beginning that we was not able to tell the story because there was not story at the beginning. So was so important for us to make a step forward more and more and more, to
To learn
yeah,
how to pitch it.
to learn how to pitch it at the same time to develop the story during this process. And it was so great now to recognize because at the time it was so frustrating. So, but at the end, yes, after the pandemic in 2020, we build our company and we start working at some commercial and blah blah. And 2021, we decide to Playing God was completely stopped at that time. So in 2021, we decide to try maybe the last attempt, the last resort. Like, let's try to make something to make money for producing this film. Let's try a Kickstarter. So we built a Kickstarter campaign. It was a nightmare, the worst experience of my life because it was so stressful, actually.
3 months
Yeah,
stress.
it was like playing gambling, It was like taking the phone every night, waking in the middle of the night and watching if someone give 1 euro or something. It was crazy. But at the end, we achieved the goal. And during that time, we met for the first time our French co-producer, Auteur de Minuit, and they said, let's produce this film together. And then we decided to apply for the regional grants here in Bologna, Emilia-Romagna, and then to try the national grants of Italy. And then with CNC in France,
Yeah, we were able to cover
yeah,
the last part of the budget. Yeah, but
yeah,
then practical tips.
yes, it was,
Then.
but everything was like an avalanche effect.
Mm.
You just take the first brick and then pop, 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 continue. Uh, and I feel lucky for that because I know this was our first experience like a production company to try all these grants and blah blah. I know many friends, many filmmakers that try maybe for the first time and doesn't nothing happen and try for the second time. So I think there, you never you have to you have never surrender to the failure. You have to try again every time. So
Yeah, a practical tip could be to, yeah, for us it was essential to start with this Kickstarter campaign. And I suggest to start like that because it give on your project a lot of visibility, even on social network, etc. And then it's the first stone, that you can present to ask the other to trust in your project. So could be the first tip. The second tip could be to attend a lot of animation festival if someone wants to produce an animation project. Because when you go in these festivals, in this event and the animation market, for example, you can meet people, meet producers, collaborators too, and this is essential. For example, in Europe, because in Europe we have this mechanism of public funds, and for an animation project that always have a huge budget, it's essential to
Yeah.
build a relationship with the other countries. So attending this event is important.
Yeah, but for us, for example, was this process was not enough because we try, depends on your idea, of course. For Playing God was so difficult because not many people trust in the project because I know that maybe on paper the idea was weird and maybe impossible to achieve. Like, how can you manage? How can you are able to manage all these difficulties? Are able to stay on budget? It's really difficult. And we said, how many times do you need maybe to shoot everything? I don't know, 1 year, 2 year. It's too much, you know. So it's difficult, especially if you have an ambitious project, and sometimes it's difficult. But I think this is actually your personal growth, and you have to trying to doing better because sometimes it's really difficult to have a strong idea and at the same time are able to communicate this idea without have a visual, without have shooting footage or stuff. It's difficult to communicate on your own words the ideas sometimes. So it's important, yes, moving to festival, have feedback, but at the same time, yes, you have to develop your skill to communicate your ideas, and this is essential if you want to collaborate with production or people working with you and stuff. So.
Yeah, having used Kickstarter to try to get funding for some of my own projects, there are those dopamine hits of, oh, someone donated. I just need to keep checking in case someone else donates. So
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned earlier, Playing God utilizes all of these different techniques with puppet animation, pixelation. What was the process of incorporating all of those, and was that idea there from the beginning, or did you have to get a little further along in the process to be like, you know what, I think we need to incorporate this in order to get the vision we want?
No, we started from the beginning with this idea to combine to match these three techniques, but we started without know how to do actually that. So we started with some tries, some examples, but then we understood during the process, and practically it's difficult to explain because actually every shot is we used a different problem solving in some
Yes,
ways.
actually, Playing God has 97 shots or something,
Yeah,
and
almost
uh, uh,
100.
yes, and every because the direction is like pam pam pam, and every shot in
It's
some
different.
ways, yes, it's a different kind of problem solving. It's like, so I have this shot, and then like 1 week to resolve the problem.
So the most complicated part is it was to match the small size of the puppet, so the small world with the big world of the human body, yeah, like the sculpture. So at some point we arrive to this solution to create a huge puppet that substitute the human body that actually was Matteo's body because he was the actor.
Yeah, because it was impossible to find someone crazy like to stay still like 7 or 8 hours for per day is to stay still, just stay still, you
Yeah,
know.
because you can imagine that for create 1 second of animation, you need 25 frames. So sometimes we were like working on the set for 8 hours. So the body needs during the pixelation needs to be totally still, and it's painful for the body because we are not create for staying still, you know. So it was painful for him.
Yeah,
And
especially
then,
maybe when you have your hands like that, it's naturally that your body start to crumble, maybe in the first 30 minutes, and then your hands start to move and start to, like,
like,
stop, please. Your body, you feel that your body asks you to stop that. And for avoid this problem, we build sometimes specific armature, aluminum armature to attach to my hands and to fix in my arm in some part, like rigging my bodies and stuff. And was Arianna mentioned for the scene when we saw the full body of the sculpture, we built a giant puppet actually with a reproduction of his face in resin. And my body, basically, I was putting my two forearms uh, inside his arm like that. So basically, my position was to stay sitting on the back of the giant puppet, and then Arianna moving myself and the giant puppet together. But it's not simple to stay still. That actually is the problem. And yes, but the most problem was when the human body have to interact with the plasticine, with the clay.
yeah.
For that, we sometimes discover a trick that actually, especially maintaining the movement every time, like putting my hands and then taking the frame and then removing my hands. So Arianna starts to sculpting the clay and then putting my hands again. But the trick here is not stay still, but continuing the movement because it's much easier to find the next frame every time. So in that way, we got much faster. The big problem, the most bigger challenge was stay still. Like in the scene, for example, when my hands grab the little hands of the puppet. In that scene, for example, that was like 5 hours of scene, 4, I don't remember,
Of
uh,
animation.
of animation, and there was like completely still for 4 hours and just stay there, fixed or rigged in the same position. And yes, especially if you have a shot really close to the hands, it was difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, so there were a lot of tricks, really a lot. And sorry, I don't know what is happening.
Please remember the,
Remember
the
the
shooting period of playing God. It's like, "Oh, I'm dying."
No, but anyway, we care a lot to record a lot of backstage. So for who is interested to understand better the backstage, in our YouTube channel we have a lot of contents about playing God. So
Yeah, actually, I want maybe one day I want to edit a full maybe 20 minutes backstage of the film. I have 3 terabyte of materials of backstage, so maybe one day I have to find the courage to put myself on editing because it's not
it's
easy
a
at
lot.
all. Yeah, it's a lot of clip, a lot of stuff. Yeah.
So I have to say congratulations on getting Playing God into the Tribeca Film Festival. I believe it's debuting in June. What was your reaction like, after spending years getting the money, sounds like, working on it, the actual production of putting this together. What was your reaction like upon hearing that it's going to Tribeca?
I
Absolutely.
remember the first time that I saw that was officially selected. I would remain freeze, like with my phone like this,
Yes. Even
and then
because,
I put the phone aside, like
oh my God,
may-
what's happening? Like,
maybe I have to watch it better again, and then it was real. So no, we are so happy actually.
it's our first festival in America, so we are super happy about that. And
Yeah.
yeah, we can wait to, receive the feedbacks from American peoples. And yeah, it will be amazing. I saw on Google the image of the red carpet, and I'm a bit afraid of about that, but yeah, let's go. We can wait, actually. It will be an adventure.
No, yes, when, especially in this really big festival, big event, it's really nice every time to have the feedback of the people about your work and are able to be there and communicate with the other about your film, about the other film. And it's so inspiring, in some ways. It's like meeting ideas, people. It's like to create a bubble, like a special bubble, and when you have to leave, it's like this magic is it's disappear immediately disappear. And I have a wonderful memories about the previous festival that we met with Playing God. We started distribution in Venice 2024, and I have a really good memories, and was everything was so inspiring and
Exciting.
exciting. And I think Tribeca will be amazing. So yeah,
We
we
can
are
wait.
really happy. We can wait. Yeah.
That's really cool. So with Playing God coming out, do you have a next project lined up, or are you taking a little break?
No, it's yeah, we are a production. Now we are in the end part of a co-production with Portugal, so we are closing another short film. It's a a puppet animation, stop motion.
Made with wool, different technique, different.
So now we are in this phase where we are trying to, yeah, we are starting to understand the distribution part, and then at the end of the year we will start another short film, which is actually a co-production with Greece. And then in the next future we want to, yeah, to start another personal project too.
Yeah, actually, we want to stay on the short film medium because, of course, we start with this adventure with stop motion with the goal to make a feature film maybe one day. Um, but we want to discover the short film universe much better. And we have a lot of stories, and yes, for the next film, probably will be something completely different about playing God, more or less 17 or 18 minutes or something, much longer, in different story and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile, of course, as all creative studios, I think we are open to commissions, so we usually work on the commercials and video clip, etc. Even to get money to invest in, cinema film projects. And then we hope in the future to really, yeah, be able to work in a future film, because in Italy we don't have an example of stop motion future. So maybe we hope to be the first company to realize something like that. So yeah, this is our dream.